So Essentialism by Greg McKeown. This is a book that I enjoyed, and there are a lot of little takeaways that I want to share with you in this video. One of the first things I noticed was that in the book he talks a lot about like less is better. That is the main concept of the book. Doing less, but making it more productive in the process. Make what you do higher quality, but don't spread yourself as far. And this can come quite unnaturally to people. So if someone has a request for you, your natural instinct is to take up that request to make that person happy. What Greg talks about is the hidden cost of accepting those requests. We don't always make logical decisions when thinking about the request itself. If it be a work thing, then do you actually take into account that accepting this work project may mean you spend less time with your family? At the time you just think, oh, it's an interesting project, or this could be good for the company, and you do it. And that's how it goes. You want to keep your boss happy, or your friends happy, or your colleagues happy. It's our natural instincts as social animals to kind of do that. But the downside is that when everyone's pulling you in different directions, it distracts you from reaching your highest level of contribution, is I think the term that he uses. And that's quite a good, important point. If you're kind of doing everything for everyone else, then you don't have time to work on your own goals and work on the core things that are going to get you from point A to point B where you want to be. Now, some of the things he mentions that you can do to help yourself get to this stage of essentialism and doing less but better, he says that you've got to make yourself unavailable, and that's something I completely agree with. Now when I hear someone's phone go off or notifications on phones, it winds me up when it's someone else's phone, because I've had mine turned off for 2 years, and I can't see how anyone can live their life being distracted constantly by WhatsApp or Messenger coming through and reading them instantly on your phone. Like, just collect them up and read them as and when you're free. Same with emails. Like, you shouldn't be checking your emails that often unless you're in a support job or something where it's time critical. There's no need to be checking emails and responding instantly and disrupting your workflow whenever someone sends in an email request. Another thing he talks about is removing unnecessary decisions. This kind of took me back to maybe 4 or 5 years ago when Mark Zuckerberg done a challenge where he wore the same clothes for a year and everyone thought he was crazy. But I think there's some sense in that the concept is that you only have a certain amount of brain power to make all the decisions throughout your day. And if you use that on remedial things like what t-shirt you're going to wear that day or what suit you're going to wear, then you don't have the same mental capacity to make better decisions later on in the day, which might be more critical. And another thing he mentions is that if a decision isn't a clear yes, like if you aren't really enthused by something, if you're kind of borderline and sitting on the fence, then it's a no, really. You should always, anything that's borderline, say no to, because if it's borderline at the start, then by the end it's going to be a massive negative. This is an enjoyable book for me. It got me thinking about some of the things that I already did and kind of took into account for, but maybe didn't realize it, and having a second opinion on that was quite useful. It's always good to have a refresher, and by reading the book it kind of makes you look at your own life and kind of analyze it as to where there are opportunities, where less is better, and you can kind of make improvements along the way. So overall, it's a well-written book. It's got actionable advice, and I'd recommend it to anyone that's in lockdown and needs something to read. Thank you for watching.